But yeah, the plan is to kind of go through the add-ons, you know, kind of explain which ones I think are good, like why they're good, why they're bad, why you should use them, maybe like which ones you can use together, and then maybe certain perks to go with them, right? We need a new tier called Alchemist Ring, James. I mean, okay, no spoilers there yet, though, Biggie. No spoilers yet, Minez. Politics time bread. Okay, so, Alchemist. Yeah, okay, so we're gonna start with the Adrenaline Vial. The Adrenaline Vial is the best add-on that has ever existed in the history of Dead by Daylight. The reason why the Adrenaline Vial is so good is that you get 2 extra rushes. And because those rushes are invaluable. S+, I almost feel like we should make like an extra tier, dude. No, realistically, the Adrenaline Vial is absolute, complete hot trash, dude. It's fucking straight garbo. The reason why it sucks is that it tremendously, like unbelievably limits your ability to turn mid-rush to the point where you basically cannot turn. You become a human pinball machine, like literally. You look at an object and that is where you will rebound with, right? No F tier. No, D is going to be the lowest for this one, dude. And so the reason why that's so bad is that fundamentally, if you only played with Adrenaline Vial, right? You never played normal Blight. You would actually be OP as fuck. Like if all you played was this, it would be incredible. However, the problem is most people don't just play with that, you know? Like most people will just play normal Blight and then sometimes maybe go to this. And I don't believe you can actually do both. You're either a cracked normal Blight or a cracked, that emo dude, that emo baby. You're either a cracked normal Blight or a cracked Adrenaline Vial Blight. You cannot be both. So for that reason, it is the worst add-on in the game. It's genuinely unfun to play with. Genuinely doesn't sync with anything. There's good reason why many Blight mains on YouTube and on Twitch and things just refuse to use it because it's straight garbo. No F tier. Not on this one, Fims. Not on this one. Okay, so on top of that, okay, so Alchemist Ring is the best add-on in the game. Not even just for Blight, but just in general, because it's for a couple of reasons actually. So firstly, it's a very unique add-on that actually rewards you for trying to use your power, right? If you don't use your power as Blight, you're never going to get value from it. So it kind of promotes new players to want to just keep using their power, because every time, what the Alchemist Ring does is every time you hit a survivor, you instantly get your rushes back, right? And so it rewards you with giving your rushes back so you can try it again. And then maybe next time you miss, but then next time you do it again, and then you finally get that hit, and then you just want to go for another rush. And so it promotes the proper way of Blight play. You know, the proper way of playing Blight is not just to use it between tiles. It's to figure out the way to use your rushes inside of tiles, right? Yeah, exactly, Spicy. Exactly. It's similar to Lilith that gets her blinks with no fatigue after a hit. Like, yeah, it's insane, right? And also consider that it gives you the 5 rushes back, you know? Yeah, just flat out. It's amazing for, you know, it's unbelievably powerful for people that are very good with Blight. It's very good when you're learning Blight. There's absolutely no downside. Like, imagine if the Huntress, every time you hit a hatchet, you got all of your hatchets back. That's basically what it is. It's incredible. Yeah, S tier would be higher than S tier if I could put it up there. Next up is going to be the Blighted Crow, which is the green rarity of like speed add-ons. This one is like honestly pretty incredible as well. I would stick this in easily an S tier. The amount of speed that it gives you is kind of crazy, to be honest. Blight's basic is like 230%, so like double a normal killer. Combined with that, you're getting some unbelievable speed, dude. And basically the way it works is it doesn't just give you the speed, it's every consecutive rush, you know? So the first rush is normal speed, then the next one gets faster, and then faster and faster. And the Blighted Crow is very noticeable, you know? I put the bird and the rat together, and they're not quite the same. They're not quite the same. But that one, for sure, the Blighted Crow is an incredible add-on that, to be honest, kind of synergizes with any other good add-on. You know, if you want to combine the Alchemist Ring and the Blighted Crow, you probably see that I use both of those all the time. Because together, you know, you get the Alchemist Ring, you hit someone with it with maximum speed, you then go for the same thing again, you know. And the nice thing with this is that if you're good at like zoning and positioning survivors, because of the extra speed, you can hit them before they're able to get to a safe place, right? So it's incredible. Blighted Rat is the same thing, except it's a lower rarity version, right? So it's just not as fast as the Crow. fundamentally, I'd probably put that one in B tier. That one is very unnoticeable for the most part. If you play with base kit and then rat, you get a little bit of speed. If you play with crow and rat and then take away the rat away, again, not massively noticeable. It's a very small change. It's still a nice buff, but it's nothing crazy, you know. I wish Blight had a half a blighted rat base kit. For sure. I mean, that would be cool, Nico. That'd be sure. Blighted crows are useful even for mobility. On last rush, you can run halfway across. Oh yeah, for sure, exactly. It's great for mobility. Both of these are, to be fair. But the blighted crow, especially for pure mobility, like for example, right, Omen. The long, the long side of Omen. If we're talking the longest point to the longest point, with the blighted crow and the blighted rat, you can get to from one side to the other in 3.5 to 4 rushes. That's insane distance, you know. Like you could probably get, if you use perfect bump logic, you could probably get across all of them in like you could use 5 rushes to get across the entirety of Red Forest. Like that's busted, dude. That's crazy. Like that's crazy. That's assuming you don't go short. You always try and go as long as possible. But even then, dude, you can't say enough good things about the speed. However, crow is significantly better than rat. I can barely keep up with the blighted crow. Yeah, I think the only downside to the crow is it does take some time to get used to. Especially on indoor maps, like double speed on maps like Hawkins can be a bit of a pain. You know, you have to be very quick to react to things, and it doesn't give you as much as time to kind of like maneuver around objects. It's one thing to keep in mind. The Cankerthorn is one that reduces the Blight's fatigue time, or you know, after hitting someone with a rush. It's the same as the Foxglove. The only problem being, I mean, it's one of these add-ons that just like there's no wrong to it. You know, he be swimming. He does. What's going on, dude? It's good to see you, buddy. Welcome in. But yeah, it's one of these add-ons that doesn't really make a massive difference. But it also doesn't have any downside. You know, you're not going to notice anything massive unless maybe you use the Foxglove and the Cankerthorn. But it's also one that, like, if in case you want to go like perkless or add-onless even, using both of those is not going to be crazy. You know, it's not like a noticeable difference, but it's like a nice quality of life, kind of like running base kit add-ons on demo, right? You know, it's similar to running like the liver rat tail kind of situation, just like a nice like quality of life. Will we get more serum for Halloween again? I hope so. I believe so, Dwight. Yeah, can't go add-onless with add-ons. Silly James. Very true, Spicy. Okay, so next up is going to be the Foxglove, which, I mean, to be fair, I probably put it's going to be at the highest of D tier, and that's not necessarily because it's bad. It just doesn't do much on its own. You know, combining these two together would probably put them in lowest B tier, maybe high C, but it's, you know, it's not very noticeable. Next up is going to be the monocle. The monocles are a kind of a divisive one. Firstly, the one big thing I'll point out about the monocle is that really the quality of a blight is not by your bump logic or your ability to flick. It's actually purely based on your top hat and monocle collection. The more monocles you've got, everyone knows the better blight you are, you know? So ideally, you don't want to be bringing monocles into a game whatsoever. The reason why it's kind of divisive is that it's designed to be similar to the nurse's flannel, right? Blight tag S. Yeah, maybe. Rescurtify, maybe. We'll see how it goes. It's designed to be similar to the flannel, which basically is there to like help beginners know where you can slam into. There's two problems with it though, fundamentally. It's firstly, it's attached to your direction of velocity and not to your raycast. So, I mean, beginners aren't going to be shoulder bumping anyway, but if you turn towards something, it's going to be going towards the direction that you were physically moving towards and not where you're now facing. That can be confusing. On top of that, it can show you objects that you can't actually collide with, you're going to slip off of. For example, try using the monocle on Swamp. You're going to see exactly what I mean. On top of that, it can actually show you objects that are slightly too far away to bump into anyway. Right? All of those reasons, I say it's not worth bringing as a beginner. And if you're not going to use it as a beginner, then why run it? You know what I mean? When the devs give all characters top hats. When every character gets a top hat, this game will fully be complete, and I can die happy, man. So for those reasons, I don't really recommend it for anyone. It's there purely as a symbol of your dedication to Blight, and that's about it, man. They figured Blight would need some kind of add-on for learning, but I didn't know how to implement it. Yeah, exactly. It doesn't really give you any useful information. So that one is honestly, it's not bad, but it's not great either. Wouldn't recommend it. The Compound 21 is fantastic, dude. Absolutely fantastic. Probably the highest of A tier until something beats it. Wait, hold on. That's Compound 21. I'll go with Compound 21 for now, man. Compound 21 is fantastic. Basically what it does is it shows you the auras of survivors behind walls, behind anything, within 8 meters of any slammed object. So imagine you're looping something and you bounce into it and they're within 8 meters. You can see their aura all the way through, kind of like wall hacks. That's awesome mid chase, but even better than that is revealing people that are just standing in random places. You know, someone's hiding, you just be bumping across the map. And again, remember that like Blight's rush is 5 bumps, right? So the chances are, especially on a map, think of like Midwich or Hawkins or something, you're going to be bumping around the map. Eventually you're going to be connecting with something that's 8 meters away from the survivor, right? Which is just going to give you wall hacks and tell you exactly where they are, which is amazing. On top of that, like a big, not S tier, I wouldn't say so. It would have been if it stayed like it was on the PTB, which is what, like 24 meters or something ridiculous, 16. I wouldn't say S tier because it's not unbelievably broken. You know, it's a really good add-on. It's solid, but it's not really, really powerful, you know, on its own. Combining that with, obviously, you know, anything in S tier is always going to be good. Any kind of speed, any kind of slam duration, which we'll get to afterwards, is excellent. That's lovely. Yeah, Donuts, it's a really good add-on. A nice little tip as well that I'll always recommend is when you're looking for people with Compound 21 is don't try and turn around quickly to try and see their aura. Keep a very close eye on the points you're being awarded in the top right of the screen, right? Right around here. Because what that's going to do is every time that you reveal someone with Compound 21, it's actually going to show you, it's going to give you points for it. And so that can actually tell you if someone's like above you or below you or anything, dude. It's honestly pretty insane, the stuff you can do. There's been times in like Omen, for example, that someone's hiding in a room above me. I'll be chasing a survivor, get compound value, and I'll see they're like above me, you know, like that kind of stuff is mind-blowing for the information. So yeah, Compound 21, incredible. Compound 7 is garbage. Worse than Monocle, not as bad as Adrenaline Vial, but garbage. Honestly, it's almost there, but not quite. The reason why Compound 7 sucks, again, it's another add-on. It's a brown add-on. It's kind of designed to help you when you start the game. And what it does is you bump into an object, and if you're close to a survivor, it will automatically make you look at that survivor, which sounds great, right? Because then you don't have to, you know, turn around and try and find them again and then reposition, which is great. Firstly, it's incredibly disorienting. Like, just having, you know, you bump into an object and you just spin automatically. Again, it might be something you get used to. If you are like if you only play Compound 7 Blight, then maybe you're going to be cracked, right? But it's incredibly disorienting. And on top of that, what happens if there's more than one survivor around you and you're chasing one of them? What happens if one of them is body blocking? That turns into a nightmare because the game doesn't know what to do, you know? The game has like no idea, and so it ends up just choosing one of them at random that might not even be the one you want to go for, right? That sounds like a fun add-on for sure. That would throw me so much. Oh, it totally does, Donuts. It totally can. Fisherman Ace, yes, we're going to be checking out those cosmetics on stream in a second. Don't you worry, dude. Don't you worry, my main man. But for that reason, honestly, it's not good for beginners. It's not even good for console players because of those same reasons. Absolute garbage. Try and avoid it, dude. It's also aimed at more aggressive. Yeah, exactly. Next is going to be Compound 33, which is... I'm not entirely sure if I'd say S tier. I mean, it's probably at the bottom of S tier. It's either S tier or at the very top. I would put it at the very top of A tier for now. It's incredible. Basically, it allows you to just like face plant, just like headbutt a pallet, break it at like chainsaw speed, right? This actually makes Blight the most oppressive killer in the game when it comes to breaking pallets in chase, more so than Bubba or anything. Because Bubba has to walk to a pallet and then rev a chainsaw and then break it, right? Bubba doesn't move at 230% and instantly break a pallet with an instant like right click. You know, it's a single frame and the pallet's gone. On top of that, there's some pretty interesting bugs that exist, like the Spirit Fury enduring bug that you can do quite easily with the Compound 33. It allows you to like basically what you do is you break the pallet with Spirit Fury at the exact same time that you break the pallet with Compound. And you basically come out of it with no stun. Like, you just walk forwards and M1 them. Obviously, it's a bug, but, like, you know, I gotta kind of put that in there as a pro because it's still in the game, man. It's a really good add-on, honestly. It makes you incredibly, incredibly oppressive. For high A tier for now. Iridescent Blight tag's an interesting one. I remember seeing, and to be honest, if you look at most other people's tier lists for add-ons for Blight, they're gonna stick this like fucking there. I think when Otstava first, I mean, to be fair, Blight just came out. I think when he first addressed Blight's add-ons, he put this here or like here. He said it was it's the same thing as Tofu. I think originally they, like most people would said that it's very inconsistent, it's hard to force, you can't really get it or anything. But if you guys have seen my record runs, you would know that this is incredibly consistent to try and force an insta-down with. And combine that with the Alchemist ring, this is the most oppressive combo of add-ons in the game, of any killer. Worse than Iridescent Head if you play it correctly. So honestly, I mean, on its own, it's incredible. But combine it with the Alchemist ring, and there is nothing you can do against it, man. Like, nothing. I got permanently locked in Cloak as Wraith after being Spirit Furied while invisible? Oh, no way. Right, that sounds kind of gnarly, dude. But I'm sorry to hear about that one, dude. I got that bag on that bug on accident a couple times. It's a really gnarly bug, dude. It's really gnarly. The tier list is so helpful. I've been thinking of buying Blight soon. Finally. Oh, awesome, Orang. Awesome. Hopefully this helps you out. Make Blight tag look so easy. It's okay. The one thing I will say, this is not an easy add-on. As far as add-ons go, you know, in general in the game, this is probably one of, if not the hardest add-on to use, because you've got to be able to reposition yourself and loop weirdly to make sure the last rush has a guaranteed hit. Hey, Mr. Dead Cat 1, interesting name. Welcome in. Hope you're having a wonderful day, dude. Great to have you. It's not nearly as easy to use as you think it is. However, if you can get to use it, again, this is all kind of assuming that you're pretty comfortable using things. You're pretty good with them. Easily S tier. Is it better than Alchemist ring? No. Is it better than Crow? For the speed, I would say no. However, it is still an insta down. You know, the reason I'm putting it a little bit down, your nana's crusty. What's going on, dude? Welcome in. Hope you're having a wonderful day, my main man. Good to have you. The main reason I mention that is that, like, it doesn't give you the speed like that one does. It doesn't even give you the sheer like oppression like Alchemist ring does. And it's kind of iffy to, you know, it's very map dependent, I guess, more so than the other ones. And it's kind of iffy to get the insta down in the first place, you know. Hey, what's going on, Dead Cat? Welcome in, man. Next up's going to be Placebo Tablet, and this genuinely isn't actually a bad add-on. It's also not a good one, though. So effectively, what the Placebo Tablet does is it makes Blight's rush like really, really slow. S++ more blood points. It does give you more blood points. That's true. But it makes your rush really slow. You're still moving more than 115. I think it's close to like 170 or so, or 200-ish. But it does feel very slow. It's almost like you're running in slow motion. I thought add-ons tier list for All Killer, specifically for Blight, because that's the one I've got the most experience with, Comrade. And this is the one that I get a lot of questions about. So I think this is the one that kind of like fits best for now, at least, dude. But yeah, the problem with Placebo Tablet is purely the fact that you go insanely slow. And so yes, for catching people that are just running in straight lines on like Midwich or Hawkins or something is fantastic, and it gives you loads of time to like think about things and change positions and kind of go for flicks and things. That's great. But for being quick enough to outposition, the reason why the Crow and the Rat are really good, this takes away all of that. So I was given so much time to react to everything that it's honestly just not, as far as a viable thing to use, it's kind of a bit of a meme. It's not really worth bringing, but it's interesting. It's still better than probably any of these, to be completely honest. No, it's probably not better than the monocle, but yeah, it's better than those ones. It's interesting. It gives you some extra blood points, which probably don't make any difference. It's a very small amount. Can you stack Placebo and Crow to make your speed normal? Yes, interestingly, it does actually. If you stack Placebo and Crow, you end up going a little bit over normal speed. But there is a particular point where you do basically reach normal speed. Yeah, exactly. Wish Placebo Tablet just did nothing, you know, for me. I mean, that would be awesome, right? Like it just did nothing. It is just literally a Placebo Tablet. That would actually be really clever. Next one's going to be Plague Vial, which is a turn rate add-on. Reason why we don't like the turn rate add-ons is because they don't affect flicks. They don't affect too much. All they do is they affect the maximum amount of turn that you can do before you effectively enter what we call a drift, right? Where you're not really turning anymore. You're kind of like pivoting around like an axis, like a car would whilst it's drifting, right? It just makes it so you have to turn more to actually hit that drift. That's it. And for that reason alone, I never ever recommend actually running these add-ons. For the most part, you don't need them. It will also mess with your muscle memory. You don't want to get too used to it. You're going to hear that come up a little bit with a few other like of the upcoming add-ons as well. But you don't want to, it's going to affect your muscle memory when it comes to like turning Blight normally. It doesn't affect the flicks too much. I've never been in a situation where I've been like, damn, I wish I had like a little bit more rotation, because that's why Blight isn't supposed to be able to turn that much, because that's why you have the bumps, Wait, did he like ask the plague to spit in the bottle? No, he stole it. Blight is an alchemist, and he basically captured many of the killers to experiment on. So one of them was Plague, and basically what he did was he just kind of like stole some of her puke to experiment on. It's pretty cool actually, lore-wise. I definitely look into it. It's quite interesting. For that reason, it just kind of goes in the useless tier. I guess it kind of has more practicality than any of these. Maybe it goes on bottom of C. Either it's pretty garbo, dude. The Umbra Salts. The Umbra Salts is going to be the same thing basically. No, hold on. I'm trying to remember the name of all of these ones off the top of my head. I've also been streaming for like 15.5 hours, dude. So do also keep that in mind, man. Hey, what's going on, Kyle? Welcome in, man. Plague and Blight are best friends. It's very true, Abdul. Very true, man. That's brutal. My version is funnier. It is definitely funnier, man, for sure. Okay, so I'm pretty sure this is the Umbra Salt right here. If I slam duration, yeah, this is slam duration. This is turn rate. So slam duration. This is fantastic, and this is something that I never see anyone. That's Pustula. Yeah, this is Pustula. This is Umbra Salts. Gotcha. I know how they look in game, but I was trying to remember the name of this one, and that was why it was throwing me off on this one. I knew that this was a slam duration, but the name of this one was throwing me off. Hey, what's going on, Cap and Jack? Welcome in, dude. Great to have you. Hope you're having a wonderful day. The second to last is Cocaine Bowl. Yeah, okay, dude. So I do really want to talk about these ones though, because I feel like I've never ever been against the Blight that has been using slam duration, and no one talks about it. No one uses it, and it's the biggest crime to humanity ever. And I know, again, one of the big reasons is if you look at like the add-on tier list and you listen to people talking about Blight, they talk about Spleed, they talk about the Alchemist rings, they talk about stuff like that, even the compounds, but they never talk about slam duration because for the most part they just haven't tried it. And one of the biggest complaints I see with people talking is like, oh, but when I cancel a slam, I'm going to sit there and it's going to take me longer to just go into like the cancel phase. But that's kind of typically speaking why you M1 out of a rush, so you can cancel it quickly, right? Will your tier list change based on how good you are with Blight? Most of what, like this tier list, or just like a killer tier list in general, just like actual killers? Yeah, it will depend on how good you are with Blight, but then that's assuming that you're decent with all killers, right? This tier, no, for the most part it shouldn't change too much. If you're, I mean, I'll kind of show you like what I'd change if you maybe aren't too good with Blight, if you like just picked him up, but no, it's pretty similar, honestly. There are a few points that I'll kind of pick out though. But yeah, the reason why a slam duration is so unbelievably OP is that it gives you so much time to think about things, right? You slam against something and you just wait. You just sit there and you just stare at the survivor until they're in the perfect position that you know that you cannot possibly miss. You can also slam into an object and literally watch them as they dead hard in front of you, because survivors, like I said, survivors never see those add-ons. So when they see the Blight just waiting, I've watched back so many of my games using those add-ons against like other streamers, and every time they'll be like, wait, Blight isn't supposed to be able to wait there for so long. I freaked out and I dead-harded, right? Why did I do that? And it's because people freak out when they see Blight doing something weird, right? Season 2 roll, baby. Hey, welcome in, Shabby. I'll get that set up for you, dude. In fact, you probably set that up for yourself, man. But cheers to the support, man. It means a lot. But yeah, you just wait, and it gives you so much time. On top of that, there is actually a secret little bonus to what those add-ons do. Is they don't just increase the slam duration; they also increase the slam speed, or the shimmy speed. You know how when you slam into something, you can actually kind of move for a second. It massively increases, especially the Rose Tonic, the next add-on. Massively increases the speed that you shimmy. So getting through doorways and stuff like that is a breeze, dude. For indoor maps, it's fantastic. The exclusive Discord role, can you pick it yourself? No, it's the Spice Lord season of whichever season is currently out. I think right now it's season 2. The RE chapter just dropped, and yeah, the next one's going to be coming out relatively soon. Born by Dawn, welcome in, buddy. Hope the stream's been going good. It's going to be going fantastic so far, dude. And even better now you're here, man. I hope you're doing well, man. Good to see you. Okay, so yeah. Honestly, as far as putting that on a tier list, that is going to be, at the very least to me, like low B tier. The Rose Tonic is basically everything I've just said about the last one, but even better. It's fantastic. You last forever. You have such speed to go through like doorways and things, and again, massively underrated. I would genuinely stick this above Compound 21. I think it's that good at baiting dead hards, at waiting for the perfect opportunity, to making sure you're always in position. There's some crazy things you can do with it, man. The next one coming up is Shredded Notes, which controversially I think I really don't like Shredded Notes. For a similar reason that I don't like a lot of the other ones, is it messes with the muscle memory. You very quickly, with Blight, start to get used to the idea of the 5 rush. You don't have to count them anymore. You just think in terms of 5. As soon as you take those numbers away, you're now very stuck. Now you're working with 4 rushes instead of 5, right? And it just fucks with you, dude. Like, I think, again, kind of like the Adrenaline Vial, I feel like if you only play with Shredded Notes, then you might be pretty cracked. But if you try and go between the two of just playing normal Blight and then Shredded Notes, you're going to be totally screwed, dude. Nia has all teachable P3 on her. Time to work on Nemesis. Sounds like a plan, dude. Excellent. I'm going to be working on Nemesis very, very soon, man. Very, very soon. And good morning, Jaeger. Dude, excellent. It's good to see you. How did you sleep, man? Welcome in. Gangnam Style. Wait, what? Smooth Dwight? Wait, what? But yeah, it's a very strange add-on to me. It increases the speed that you regain them, but it takes one of your rushes away. And to me, the amount of muscle memory and just general knowledge that you lose with that is not worth it. I understand most of the time. What people kind of explain to me is they're like, oh, but if you use the Shredded Notes combined with the Iridescent Blight tag, then you get some crazy stuff going on, because you only have to rush 3 times or 4 times to down someone. The problem is that with the Blight tag, if you know how to use it, it doesn't make a difference, and you don't want to be down one. If you want to down someone quickly and they're not moving, you just go 1, 2, 3, 4 and then down, right? You just slam into something repeatedly. But most of the time, that's not how the Alchemist, the Iridescent Blight tag works. Most of the time, you have to keep repositioning, and so you want that extra rush just in case, you know? You can force the last rush hit. You don't need to lose 1 rush to do this. Exactly. As long as you're good at forcing the last rush hit and repositioning and making sure the survivor is in a safe place to get it done, absolutely no problem. Like it's a really bizarre add-on to me, and that kind of hinders you again. I would put it maybe below, maybe above Placebo tablet, because I mean, okay, maybe like here, right? It, in theory, does have some practical application. Again, if this is what you play all the time, if you get used to it as like a secondary play style, then it can be relatively, viable, right? So, but in general, again, I mean, it's not exactly better than much so far. Did you ever play with Compound 7 and Placebo tablet? It sounds painful. Yes, I have done on stream before, and it's awful, dude. It's terrible. I'm really excited for the 5-year crowns. Yeah, have you seen what they look like, dude? They look amazing, dude. I can't wait for them. Next one is going to be the tonic. No, sorry, this is going to be hold on. Soul Chemical, of course, the Soul Chemical. I'm slowly remembering these. Like, trust me, guys. I've definitely played Blight before. Like, trust me, dude. The Soul Chemical used to do something a little bit interesting. It used to reveal survivors when you rush past them. What it does now, though, is it just basically gives them like a skill check, which I've tested in customs. I don't think it's very good, man. I don't think it's worth it. A good survivor is going to hit the skill checks anyway, and it seems to be kind of 50-50 that it actually works anyway. Like, there were certain times that I was testing it, and we just weren't getting skill checks come up, you know. And also 5 segments, which is a cool feature. Oh, true. Yeah, exactly. Gunjin is going to look good with the crown. Hell yeah. Yeah, I mean, and Blight as well, dude. Blight with a crown. Hell yeah, man. What does Soul Chemical even do? It basically just gives survivors like skill checks when you run past them. It's iffy when it does work, and when it does work, it's assuming they miss the skill check. Yeah, it's not great. concept of the add-on is cool though. Oh yeah, the concept is really cool. I can't deny that. It's very unique. But the execution, I don't think it's exactly where it's supposed to be. You know, got to grind and get the crown on everyone. Of course, Shabby, of course. Yeah, for that reason, it's better than all this garbage, dude. It's probably low. You know, for the fact that it has some kind of application, I'm gonna put it like maybe below Cankerthorn. I don't think it does. I mean, it's better than the turn rate. It's better than all this garbage, but I don't even think it's worth bringing over the Cankerthorn, dude. Honestly. And why is it purple? I think it's purple because of what it used to do. What it used to do was actually worth being purple. You know. Next up is going to be the stone. I'm trying to remember what this one's called. This is totally for a YouTube video, I promise. Effectively what this does, this is actually a really interesting one. Because it's basically, do you know one of Blight's teachables is Blood Favor, which basically will block a pallet whenever you down someone. Imagine that, but as an add-on, and it's actually better than the entire perk is. It's honestly kind of mind-blowing. It's still garbage, you know. Yeah, like don't get me wrong, the perk is terrible, the add-on's also terrible because it just doesn't keep the pallets locked off for long enough. But it's interesting that this add-on just does better than the perk does in its entirety, right? The honing stone, that's the one. I mean, to be fair, I did get the stone right, you know. I usually don't call it the honing stone. Also, I never use it because it's, you know, like I said, it's one of those add-ons that, you know, maybe in clutch situations is going to get you somewhere, but it's not really something you can plan, you know. It's going to be very, very clutch. Baby, thank you for the cat kiss. Appreciate that in chat. Thank you. Yeah, for that reason, honestly, pretty garbo. Bottom of D tier. In fact, it's still better than turn rate though. Turn rate just fucking sucks, dude. This is the same as that one, but even worse. It's actually going in D tier. And then finally, it's going to be Viggo's Journal. Probably, other than the slam duration, the most underrated and underappreciated Blight add-on there is. Because it's like, dude, like, you know what Insidious does, right? How Insidious or like tier 1, like Scratch Mirror Myers, just makes you undetectable, and so you know, like, you can just sneak up on people and do like crazy stuff. The Viggo's Journal, dude, does like I mean, yeah, as soon as you rush with Blight, you're instantly undetectable. How insane is that? Like you're a 115 movement speed killer rushing at 230% completely silently across the map, you know. Survivors have no idea you're coming. You can just flick them around the corner, and Blight is relatively, like, other than the bounce, Blight is relatively quiet mid-rush, right? Like as soon as you start a rush, he is going to be a little bit loud. He kind of does this like scream thing, but after that, towards the end of where you're actually going to be hitting a survivor, very, very quiet. Myers on crack, like literally crack Myers, dude. That is it. But it's, you know, it's criminally underrated. If you guys have never tried like the Scratch Mirror Blight build, try combining this with you know, sort of Tinkerer or Trails of Torment. Yeah, there's some crazy stuff you can do. I'd highly recommend this combined with Nurses, actually. What are we doing? Hey, what's going on, Lauren? Welcome in. We're doing a Blight add-on tier list. This combined with Nurses is incredible. Like I was saying earlier in the stream, Nurses, you want to be able to try and find people whilst they're healing, right? However, you are quite loud, you know, with your terror radius, and you run over there and they might stop healing. Combined with Nurses sounds gnarly, right? Because you can just run halfway across the map before they even have time to react to you getting there, and then boom, you know, they're down. They have no time to heal, and they're probably not going to heal because they're just going to be terrified the rest of the game, right? Basically built-in Tinkerer. Basically, yeah, Banana. Yeah, exactly. It's built-in Tinkerer. But, yeah, as soon as you rush, it's unbelievable. Viggo's a Blighted Crow and Nurses is deadly. Exactly, Remu. That as a build is absolutely gnarly. Like, trust me, go to Midwich, Viggo's Journal, Blighted Crow, Nurses, Tinkerer, and yeah, I don't know. If you want to go crazy, like Devour, Infectious, maybe, just to keep track of people, like, people are not going to have a good time, dude, you know? It's going to be crazy. Blight is 100% some of the best add-ons in the game. He has the most unique ones, I think. Is there anything I'd change? Honestly, all of these are straight garbage. Straight, like, definitely D tier. I wouldn't recommend anything in this list entirely. This list is questionable. Everything above there, though, Like, everything B and above is fantastic. However, there was one thing I do want to point out very quickly before we finish up this tier list, is that as a new Blight player, there are a lot of things that you should avoid. Anything that affects base kit, you don't want to mess with your muscle memory. It's incredibly important as a Blight player. You don't want to be messing with it. So when you first start playing Blight, avoid slam duration like the plague. They should not exist to you, and you should never use them, because you need to get used to that original slam duration, you know? That's very, very important. Speed is also a big one. Don't get too used to speed. It can also get quite addicting. But don't get too used to speed when you're beginning, because again, you know, muscle memory, you want to get used to everything. Is Viggo's Journal the Insidious one? Yes, exactly, Lauren, exactly. I would stick this, hold on, I don't know if I actually placed this, but I would stick this probably somewhere like that. It's really good. I don't think it's as good as Compound 21, because it's kind of build dependent. It's really good. Avoid slam duration. Compound 21 is excellent as a beginner. If you want to go with the bitter speed, go with the rat. Don't go with the crow, ideally, and especially don't go with the crow and rat. Alchemist ring is perfect for a beginner. The Iridescent Blight tech you're going to struggle with as a beginner, so I'd recommend avoiding that one. Compound 33 works really well as a beginner. The Cankerthorn and Foxglove are fantastic for beginners. They're just really cheap to put on. And then, to be honest, the rest of them don't really have to care about. Just don't really give these ones the time of day. What's the second S tier add-on? The Blighted Crow. The Blighted Crow. It basically, every consecutive rush, you get faster. I'm kind of hoping... I'm definitely in the mood for a Blight game now, now that we've talked about that.